In this video, we're going to talk about before and after photos and the use of production techniques on those images. Before and after photos are a really popular way to show customers the effectiveness of your non-surgical cosmetic treatments. But the photos used in an ad, especially in relation to these kinds of treatments, can be considered a visual claim for how effective it will be. The ASA has upheld many complaints about the use of before and after photos that exaggerate the effectiveness of a product or treatment. But sit tight, in the next couple of minutes, we'll cover the key rules you need to know when it comes to before and after photos, from taking and editing the shots to using them in an ad or on your website. 1. If you're planning on using before and after photos in your marketing, you must hold signed and dated proof that the photos are genuine and have not been manipulated. 2. As photos can be taken as visual claims, the photos themselves won't be enough to substantiate the impression they create. You'll likely need additional evidence to support the effectiveness of the treatment implied by your photos. You can find out more about the kind of evidence you need in the links in the description box below this video. The advertising rules don't just apply to the before and after photos, they also apply to the production techniques used on the images. There are generally two categories of production techniques. There's pre-production, that's things like makeup, hair, lighting and staging before taking photos, and post-production, that's any digital editing done after the photo is taken. The main message here is that pre- and post-production techniques should not mislead by exaggerating the effect that a treatment alone can have. For example, if you're using dermal fillers to reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, you can't use Photoshop or other digital enhancements on the after photo to smooth out the skin of the model. You also can't use concealer on the after image for a laser treatment for acne, as this would give a misleading impression of how effective the treatment can be. As a rule of thumb, be careful about enhancing or touching up any areas of a photo that relate to the cosmetic intervention you are promoting, as it may be difficult to prove that it isn't misleading. Including a caption or disclaimer in the ad saying you've used filters or photoshopped the image probably won't be enough. This is because the disclaimer or caption is unlikely to override the overall impression of an ad, and so using Photoshop or filters is likely to mislead customers. Just as with before and after photos in general, you should keep a record of what pre- and post-production techniques were used. This means keeping photo documentation of what the image and the person looked like before any pre- and post-production techniques were applied. If you can't show a record of what you've done, the ASA may consider the ad or image to be misleading. We're almost at the end of our video, but we thought we'd finish with a note on social media filters. In 2021, the ASA ruled that 2 influencer posts broke our rules when they used a beauty filter in their Instagram stories promoting tanning products, as these filters made their skin appear more tanned than it would have been without the filter. It's important to consider the implications of this case and how these would apply to advertising non-surgical cosmetic treatments. We advise against applying filters to photos or videos where these could give a misleading impression of your treatment. It's also important to remember that even if you're working with a content creator or influencer, you are responsible for the ad. You may want to consider including a note in your commercial agreement with an influencer or content creator that they shouldn't use beauty filters if it could potentially exaggerate the effect of the treatment. We hope you found this video useful. As always, we've included links to where you can find more advice about this topic in the description box below. Stay tuned for our next video on how to avoid misleading advertising claims.